Struggling now, eh?
This is a party fighting for attention and not embarrassed how it gets it. It's the Lib Dem's first conference since before the last election. And after 4 by-election victories over the Tories, they want to spread the word. They're a party that was crushed but can come back.
This is not to display any political allegiance of any kind. This is purely for television demonstration purposes.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Richard.
There we go.
But some gathered in Bournemouth think the battle to win Blue Wall traditional Tory seats is blunting the party's radicalism. Today, members defeated the leadership's attempt to reduce house-building targets.
I don't want to enter into a race with the Tories on race to the bottom on NIMBYism. So let's compete with the Tories. Let's not let the national government off the hook if there is no national target. Let's not give mixed signals to the housing market. Let's not allow our unscrupulous opponents to say the Liberal Democrats are once again not on the side of young people.
Some members think the hunt for Tory swing voters in rural seats fed the decision to abandon the 1p extra tax for public services. And they think it's made the leadership try to hide its support for rejoining the EU.
Why does it feel as though our European policy is now a closely guarded family secret that we'd rather not discuss in public?
Anybody who's been on doorsteps and talked to lots of voters recently will know the next election is not going to be principally about Europe.
Just as the housing debate was starting, I met up with Ed Davey and started by putting to him the accusation that he'd watered down housing targets to appease rural Tory voters.
No, that's not the case. I mean, let's remember, targets don't build houses. Good local authorities build houses. Well, they can particularly help in the social sector because that's owned by the government. But in the private sector, that doesn't mean it's up to private developers. But the huge difference, and this has long been the case actually in Liberal Democrat housing policy, is we reject the developer-led planning approach that the Conservatives had.
The problem for some of your members, they feel that this is not one sellout, it's a pattern of sellouts. And when you drop the 1p tax today, they see it yet again. They think you're just trying to woo a certain type of ex-Tory voter in the blue wall, and you're kind of throwing long-held Lib Dem principles to the wall to do it.
No, things change, and they change, and you have to change your policies because of that. And let me just show you what's changed. This huge increase in income tax under the Conservatives. They have introduced stealth income tax rises.
Tories and Labour have been saying for years, oh, you shouldn't be doing that penny on tax. And now you're joining them.
Well, no, not far from it. I wouldn't join those two.
We've joined them on policy. You've got rid of the distinctive policy, so you're now in line with them.
Let me give you some distinctive policies, Gary, particularly on the health service. We've been the ones to have some really bold health policies, free personal care, a massive expansion of GPs. Which political party besides the Liberal Democrats are arguing for free personal care?
Let me take you to European policy. Now, a lot of people in your party would say you should be out there saying we need to join the European Union. But you're not doing that.
Well, we are very pro-European, as you know. We've said in our documents that we want Britain back at the heart of Europe. You won't hear that from other political parties, but we're also being realistic. We're looking at the situation as it is, just as we've done on tax. And where we've been distinctive on things like the health service, we're actually distinctive on our European position. Let me explain why.
I'm just thinking, what if Nigel Farage back years ago had said, nah, it's not on the table, Brexit. He showed commitment. He decided he wanted to do something and he stuck to it. And you're not doing the same thing for EU membership now.
We are sticking to our pro-European principles. We have talked to our European partners. They've made clear that the Conservatives have undermined Britain's relationship with Europe in a dreadful way, that the trust has gone. People like Boris Johnson lied to our European friends, and they don't trust.
And I understand that, but you know what the point I'm making. It's a long-term crusade. You have to commit to it. You have to keep the flag flying. You're not waving that flag with the stars on it. And your members, a lot of them came in because of the Remain campaign that you were leading, and they're looking around them thinking, well, I joined this crusade. It looks like Ed Davey's lost the religion.
Far from it. If you look at the policy papers, very happy that they've been passed. We've got a clear policy paper which passed with
it's page 46, Europe.
Well, let me explain, because we've debated Europe at our conference more than any other party.
And Nigel Farage wouldn't have put it on page 46.
We've debated more than any other political party how we improve our relationship with Europe. We've set out far more detail. And let me explain why we've done that. We were the only party to vote against the awful trade deal, the only large UK-wide party to do that. Labour Party voted for that awful trade deal. And since that trade deal's been passed, we've been pointing out all the problems that that trade deal has caused.
Do you rule out coalition in all circumstances after the next general election?
Listen, I've been really clear in answers to you and answers to other people that I'm not going to be distracted by talking about what comes after the next election.
Being very clear about not being clear.
No. It's been clear what my task is, and it's
But
right.
you're entitled to know.
It's right to be so, because people need to know what I'm trying to do between now and the general election, and I'm being clear. It's to defeat Conservative MPs. I have never known our country so badly governed, and I'm determined to get this divided, incompetent government that just doesn't care about people. I'm determined to get them out.